Contemplating on what to make for the summer? Come, let me show you how to make this two-piece that I am wearing quick and easy.
We have the same usual suspects. We have our pattern paper, a ruler, straight ruler, as well as a curved ruler, measuring tape, scissors to cut out our pattern, and our markers. So the first thing that I'm going to do is draft the wrap top. I'm going to do the back first. As always, begin with your starting line. This will be your shoulder line. So SL, I don't know where I get H from. My shoulder is 15 inches. 15 divided by 2 will give me 7.5, and I will place that 7.5 on my shoulder line. Our shoulders are not straight, they are slanted, so I'm just going to come down my shoulder slant, and that is 1 inch. Then I'm going to take my neck depth, which is 3 inches, and my neck width, I'm going to take 1.5. And then you could just use your curve ruler. I'm going to connect, I came down from my shoulder slope to the neckline. The next measurement that I will take will be my armhole depth. And for me, that's 8 inches. To get your armhole depth, take your bust measurement and divide it by 6 and add 1.5. So that gave me 8. And then at the midway point, which is 4, put a mark there. And then you're going to come in a 1/2 inch. So we put a point there. I'm going to extend these lines. Just to get a straight line, the same 7.5 that I have for my shoulder, I'm going to put that same 7.5 here. Then I'm going to create a straight line. Okay, my bust is 40. 40 divided by 4 is 10 inches. And add 1 inch. Now I'm going to join these 3 points. The next measurement that I will take will be the full length of my top. That will be 17 inches. And I'm just going to bring that across here. And that is just for me to get a straight line. And I'm going to add 1 inch to that for seam allowance. And I'm just going to connect those lines. My waist is 33. 33 divided by 4 is 8.25, which is 8 1/4, and that's right here. And I'm going to add that same 1 inch for seam allowance. Now I can connect those points with a slight curve. And just like that, our top is done. So what I want to do is at the shoulder, I'm going to come up a 1/2 inch. So this is back, cropped, wrap, top. Ooh, that rhymed. All right, and you're going to cut 1, and this is obviously on the fold. And this is your fold right here. So that's FOLD. Okay, so now I can cut this out. So that is how your back should look. I'm going to use the same back and cut out my front. And I'm going to pin this down. Now that I have that pinned down, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure that on this side of my pattern piece, I have at least 26 to 30 inches. So that's about 30 inches. So I'm just going to cut the excess off. Like I said earlier, from this point, you have to make sure that you have about 26 to 30 inches. And that is just for the extension of your wrap from the shoulder line. I'm going to come now 5.5 inches. You're going to put a line here. So my 5.5 is right there. I'm going to come up from the edge 2.5 inches. I'm going to create a curved line from here and then all the way to my 2.5 inches. So that's what I'm going to do now. I know it looks like a hot mess because I was trying to use my freehand, but I'm going to use my ruler to straighten it up just a little bit. The next thing for us to do is actually cut this out. Now you should have something like this, just the extension for the wrap that will go around the back when you tie it. Okay, so I'm going to label this cropped wrap top cut 2. Okay, that is it for the back and front. Complete this crop top with crop wrap top will be my sleeve, so I'm going to cut that out right now. I'm going to use this same paper because we don't waste paper over here. These papers are expensive. I'm going to fold it in two. I'm going to create my starting line. As always, cap height is going to be 3 inches. My full length of the sleeve is going to be 6 inches, and that's because it's hot. It's hot, and so I don't want long sleeves. My armhole depth is 8 inches, so I'm going to put that 8 inches right here, and then I'm going to add 1.5 inches because this is a woven fabric and I want to make sure that I have sufficient. I rather have more and I can cut off than to have less. Okay, now I'm going to draw a straight line. Okay, so I'm going to find the midway point. And now all you're going to do is come up 1/2 inch. And now I'm going to create an S. My armhole opening, so I'm going to do 14, so half of 14 is 7. I'm going to add 1 inch for seam allowance. Now all I have to do is connect these two with a slight curve. Now you can cut out the sleeve. So this is cropped top sleeve cut 2. Now we have all of the pieces for our crop top. That's the back, and your 2 fronts will be like this. So if the other one, obviously it's another one like this, exact same replica, it will be on that side. This is our sleeve. So now that we have the top portion taken care of, I'm going to draft the tiered skirt. What I'm drafting for you, I have already done for you. But what happened, and this is so this is what I had already created. And I had a video for you, but some parts, my camera was doing its own thing as usual. So some parts were not as clear as I would have liked in terms of you seeing it. This is on a knit, but I'm going to show you on a woven. It's the crop wrap top, so let me show you how it's going to look. I actually have an opening there, and you're going to pull that through there, and you're going to turn it around, and you're going to tie it, and you actually have a crop top. I'm going to move on to the skirt portion. That is 3 thick. Oh, Father help me. That is 3 tiers, the skirt that I just showed you. So I hate gathering so much, so I'm contemplating if I should do 3 tiers or 2 tiers. But either way, I'm going to show you how easy it is to get that. The first tier will be, my hip is 42 42. So half of 42 is 21. And I'm also going to add seam allowance, 1 inch. Because I'm using elastic for the waist, I have to make sure that I have 2 inches all around. And the reason why I need those 2 inches is because this is for my waistband. Now, my waist, I'm cutting it all in one. So because my waistband is going to be 1.5, I need that extra ½ inch to create my casing. My waist to my hip is 8 inches because I'm a very short person. I'm not tall. Sometimes I would like to be tall, but I'm not tall at all. I'm only 5'2". And we need a ½ inch to attach this first tail to the second tail. So I'm going to add my ½ inch seam allowance. I'm going to draw a straight line. This is our waistband. Started our measurement at 1.5 inches. And we got 8 inches for from our waist to our hip. And now that is where we are. My hip is 42. Half of 42 is 21. So that's right here. And then we're going to add a inch for seam allowance because this is a woven. And so you want to make sure that you have enough space. Connect those lines and then I'm going to cut it out. And this would be tail, T-I-E-R, number 1. Cut 2. I prefer to have the 2 seams straight on the side for the entire skirt. So I'm going to cut 2. Prefer just to have 1 seam in the back. Then you will obviously cut it on fold. For the second layer, I'm only going to use 1 piece of paper. Alright, so this is our first layer. For the second layer, I need my calculator because I am not a maths person. I forgot to tell you all how you determine the length of the tears. For my skirt, I'm going to make it about 25. So if I want to make it 25 inches, here's what's going to happen. So let's go to my calculator. And I said 25, right? So 25 minus, this was 8 inches. So 8.5 minus 8.5. And so we have 16.5 left. So that's 16.5. So let me write this on it so you won't be confused. So the first tail is 8.5 by 22. And that's including our seam allowance for both of them. So the second tail, we have to take our 16.5 and we have to divide that into 2. Divided by 2. So the rest of our tears will be 8.25. Okay, so keep that in mind. So 8.25. And the length of the second tail will be, our first one is 22, and that's including seam allowance. So you're going to multiply 22. Let me just put 8.5 over here. 8.25. So that's 8.25. So for the second tail, let's turn you this way. So for the second tail, what you're going to do, the first one was 22, so you're going to take 22 and you're multiplying it by 1.5. So the second one will be 33. So you're going to cut out 33 twice. So 33 times 2 is 66. Okay, so I could use the same paper. God is so good. All right, so I need 33. So let me just create a straight line. I need 33 by 8.25. I'm just going to go with 8.5. Okay, let's see, we are 33. Okay, so our 33 ends right here. I'm just going to draw a straight line and then cut off the rest. I tell you all, I hate gathers. I hate doing gathers. But I like how it look. Alright, so me close out my markers so they don't dry out. I'm just going to create a straight line. I feel like I'm turning my paper around and around and around. And now I'm going to cut this piece out. This is tier number 2. We're going to cut 2, and this is 8.5 by 33. All right, so you're going to have 2 of these for the second part. So now we can move on to our third tail. So we're going to multiply that same 33 by, I'm going to do 1.5 again because I don't want it to be so full. So we're going to take that same 33. So 33 multiplied by 1.5. So that's going to give us 49.5. So 49.5. All right. So we're going to multiply that 49.5 by 2. Multiply by 2. So that's going to give us 99. So for our third tail, we're going to have 8.5 by 99. I'm going to get my paper one last time. We have to clean up as we go because I don't have that much space. My space is limited. I promise you, this is the hardest part. But once you have this, then you don't have to worry about it. I'm going to create a straight line. And I'm going to measure out my 8.5. And I'm going to keep measuring that until I get across the paper. Now I can connect those points. I'm going to measure the 50 inches. I'm going to 9.5 puts us right here. And so I'm going to draw a straight line. This is tier number 3, and this is 49.5 by 8.5, and you're going to cut 2. All right, so now I can cut it out, and then we will have all 3 of our tears, and the hard work is done. Just going to fold it in half, just so that you'll be able to see all 3 in the camera. So your tails should look something just like that. So that's the first tail, second tail, third tail. And remember, for the first tail, our waist is included. Okay, so that is it. Drafting the 3 tails for the skirt, for the 3-tailed skirt, as well as the pieces for the wrapped crop top. So in the next video, I will show you how to put these together. If you like what you see on my channel, like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. We would love to have you over here. Share my video with family and friends and all those persons who love sewing or just want to be inspired. I will see you in the next video. Be blessed. Bye.